This is his attorney. All right, so we're gonna have our amazing lawyer introduce himself and, and tell us a little bit about yourself and even how you got in the industry of becoming a lawyer.
Hi guys, my name is Emmanuel. I'm an advocate of the High Court of the United Republic of Tanzania. So in short, I'm a registered advocate. I'm also specializing with corporate and commercial laws. So I just work as a legal consultant in the area of corporate and commercial laws. So when we say corporate and commercial laws in our jurisdiction, it involves about all issues relating to formalization of businesses and the legal entities which are dealing with the business.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he's an amazing person. So the first question I asked him was, what are the different types of business entities in Tanzania and which is best for the business of what we're doing, like a community center? But if you want to speak broader, you can. But our focus is right now what we're doing, which is building a community center for the community of Tanzania.
Yeah. The different types of business enterprises in Tanzania.
Okay.
We have sole proprietorship, and then we have companies, then we have partnership.
Okay.
So in each kind of business enterprise, there are different types too. For instance, sole proprietorship is not a corporate is not a corporate entity. Means that if you're a sole proprietor, you register a company, you register a business, we cannot differentiate you from your business.
Okay.
You understand? But if you say corporate entity, means that your business and you are two different things.
Entities. Okay.
You understand?
Gotcha. So like
in our legal context, in our jurisdiction, when we say this is a corporation, this is a company, it means that its existence is different from the existence of its owner. In the context that you can have debts, but your company cannot have debts. You understand? Your company might have some legal issues. Probably it may be sued, but you are not involved because you are not the company. You understand? That's how things are operating in Tanzania. Okay. So in our context, we have sole proprietorship, which is not the best model for investors. It's not the best model for investors because of the issues of trust. Because people trust more companies than individuals.
Yeah.
You understand? Because you can have a company, but your company is not you.
Yeah.
You understand? Because your company is not you, means that it's having separate management, it's having separate financial system. Everything is managed by the company. You are not doing it alone. So if you say that you want to start a sole proprietorship business, you might have some trust issues. But if you have a company is the system. So you are likely to invite many people to invest in your idea or in your business.
Okay.
Something else we have is partnership, I say. Yes, partnership is also not a separate legal entity in our jurisdiction.
Okay.
Means that the partners, they are like their business. If they die, their business dies too. Unlike the company. If you run a company, today you die,
it still works and functions.
It still works, and yes, that's how things are.
So that kind of answered the question I had to follow up, which was, are there any local ownership or partnership requirements? So you kind of answered that there's no necessarily requirement for that, but it's better to always go a corporate route when you're talking investments, because you want the company to continue to progress and move forward even long after one is gone.
Yes.
Okay. So then the next one, we're going to talk about like regulatory compliances and pretty much what licenses and permits are required for our business or other businesses that want to come invest to operate.
If we should talk about, I'm more interested with companies than sole proprietorship.
Okay.
Because sole proprietorship doesn't have a lot of procedures.
Okay.
But when we discuss about companies, it's having a lot of procedures.
Okay.
Which is someone must comply to so that you may start operating.
So talk to us about that then. What are the procedures?
Procedure, you see, if you want to register a company, first thing you must have the name of the company, and the name must be approved by business licensing agents of the country. It's called BRELA. You understand? RERA is the agent that is used to register companies and other corporate entities.
Okay.
You understand? So you take your name there through online platform, through the system. It's called ORIS, Online Registration System. So you can do it even if you're in America or anywhere else. Yeah, you can just do that. So through ORIS, you go, you register your account there. After registering the account there, you get inside the system. You do what we say, we call name check.
Okay.
Yes. If your name is cleared, why do we do name check? So that we may avoid to register two companies with the same name. That's the first reason. The other reason we do so that we may avoid the names which contradicts our culture.
Okay.
You understand? You see, there are some words probably in Japan or in America, they are just normal words. You can use them for business, but you use them in our context, in our culture. They are not allowed, they are prohibited.
Okay.
So we start with name check. If the name is cleared, then we go to prepare the constitution of the company, which is called Memorandum and Article of Association of the company. Okay? And in registering companies, we have different kind of companies. First type of company is a local company.
Okay.
The other one, foreign company.
Foreign. Okay.
In our jurisdiction, our legal jurisdiction, we say this is a foreign company when 51% of the shares are owned by a person who is not a Tanzanian.
Okay.
51%. Yes, of the share.
Okay.
Yes, if they are owned by a person who is not a Tanzanian, then that is a foreign company.
Okay.
You understand? Alright. Then we have local companies, and with local companies there are other different kinds of companies, which I cannot go into details now because I don't think we have enough time here. Yeah. So when I'm getting back to preparation of the constitution of the company. You see, a company must have a constitution. Constitution of the company means that it's the founding document of the company. If you say that we want to found this company, means that we must have a document that guides the operation of the company. So in the constitution of the company, we have memorandum and article of association. Memorandum of association, memorandum of association, it regulates the relationship of the company with the outsiders. You understand?
Okay.
Then we have article of association, which regulates the relationship of the company within the company, within the members of the company, how the company operates. Means that how the company relates with outsiders, we use the memorandum of association. How we operate in the company, we use article of association. So by preparing these documents, we have contents, objectives of the company, share capital structure of the company, the directors of the company, what are the duties of the directors, the secretary of the company, what are their duties, you understand? And the other powers of the company. Okay. So we cannot go into details to that, but it is the constitution which guides how the company should run. So when the constitution of the company is prepared, then it is signed by the subscribers of the company. Subscribers are always the shareholders of the company.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
Then I'll come into details about shareholders and directors.
We were talking
of the company.
about that too, about shareholders.
Shareholders.
Like you guys here, we were talking about like pretty much. This is kind of sidetracking, but we were talking about the building of the airport that's starting to get built up, and if we wanted to get involved, how does that look? Because we're still considered foreigners. Are there such things as shareholders, or is there investment? Like how could we, as foreign individuals, come in and want to invest into the airport being built here in Dodoma? So I don't know if you want to talk about that now, but when you mentioned shareholders, we were just talking about what's going on with the airport here. How could we get involved with that to invest in that if we could at all? So
yeah, there's no problem. I'll get into details of shareholders and directors of the company. For instance, a person can be a shareholder of the company, not director of the company.
Okay.
You understand? In our context. But also a person can be a shareholder and director of the company at the same time. Very possible.
Okay.
Okay.
Didn't know that.
Comes with more responsibility.
Yes, yes, because directors are, most of the time you say directors are the mind and the hands of the company.
Okay.
If you say you are the director, we are expecting that you are the one to run the company by using your head, by using your hands. But shareholders is someone who has put his capital or her capital in the company. So he's owning and controlling the stake of the company. You understand? So in our context, things are that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I want to proceed with where I ended up with the issues of subscription in the memorandum and article of association of the company, which is called MEMAT. So I say the people who subscribe in the memorandum and article of association are shareholders of the company. You understand? So after they subscribe, they sign, they put their signature, and then that document is scanned, okay, and is going to be used in the application for registration of the company as
Okay.
one of the attachments.
Okay.
You understand? After that, I want to go first in the system. What are the requirements for a person to register a company?
Mm-hmm.
What are the requirements for a person to register a company? Yeah.
That's the process I want to kind of get into as well. Because I know when we was at your office, you talked about share, whether it's 50-50, 70-30, 90-10, or however you decide to be a share within the company. Being that we're foreigners, but someone that's a citizen of Tanzania, you said before we register, it's best to have the share first, then register the business under that, so that all together it can be distributed through the business. So, with that being said, which step would be the best step to take first? Because after this is done now, the things we got done, like you said, you finish that, then come to you, finalize, you make another contract. Another document will be made after this, right? To
Put the business in body balance.
So, is that the right step that we want to take on from this point forward? After this has been finished, that's the next step.
Yeah, that's the next step. And that's why I say there are requirements which are needed for registering a company. You understand? Uh, your credentials means that your name, the place you stay, your passport, okay, and your citizenship status.
Yeah.
You understand? And if you take more shares than him, the company becomes than your local partner, the company becomes a foreign company. If he takes more shares than you, means that it becomes local company.
Okay.
Okay, what are the advantages of a company to be a local company?
And
And what is a disadvantage? We
Like
have
you said the other day,
yes.
if you other benefits that come, you can get it because it's local. But if
It's
it's
local.
foreign, you might not get those benefits.
Yes, but also there are stringent procedures in most of the license and permits if you want, if you are you are a foreign company.
Okay.
You understand? But also there are other ways we can do through Tanzania Investment Center, which require more capital and more requirements, which have been simplified somehow.
Now, with that, because I know you mentioned about with shares, if it's more of the local of the shares in the local, of course, benefits are there. But say if it's 50-50, how does it still work the same way, or is it
It's a foreign.
okay?
If we switch it, this is foreign.
Okay.
If it's 51-49, it's local.
Also, it's the 51-49. Okay.
Yeah. So most of the time, we if you want it to look local, that's what we do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Well, I appreciate
But
that.
also, you see, in running companies, we have what we call shareholders agreement. I said previously, the last time we met, and then we discussed about the content of shareholders agreement. You see, some of the shareholders in the company or the directors of the company, they might sit down and make the decisions which are not in the memorandum and article of association.
Okay.
You understand? As I told you earlier, memorandum and article of association is the constitution, the founding document of the company. Means that you cannot found a company if you don't have memorandum and article of association according to our jurisdiction. You understand?
Okay.
Yeah, because jurisdictions differ. So I'm talking from the context of Tanzania. Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know if we still want to stay in this vein, or you want to kind of move. Because I know we had information, we had questions too on taxation and the employee part stuff, because we do have people that who are working with us and for us. So we wanted to know, because to cover the body balance, to cover Ivo and all those involved, we had a few questions. So I mean, if you let us know again if that's something to focus on right now. But it was employment and labor laws that we came up with. So like, what are the labor laws regarding hiring, termination, and employee benefits here in Tanzania? Because we know it can be totally different from where we come from the States. What does that look like here, so that we're aware of that?
You see, the issues, all the issues of labor laws and employment is governed by Employment and Labor Relations Act.
Okay.
In which it shows what is the duty of the employer,
Okay.
what are their rights, you understand, and what are the duties of the employees and what are their rights, what are the procedures for hiring a person, what are the disciplinary procedures, you understand. You see, most of the employers, they get involved in employing locals. Most of the foreign companies, I'm giving examples here in Tanzania, they hire people without going through the law. So when the time for filing, they just fire according to their jurisdiction. So you find yourself that you're using the procedure, probably the American procedures for filing, you're using them in Tanzania, you'll get into trouble. You understand? So you must observe what Employment and Labor Relations Act is saying concerning hiring, filing, disciplinary procedures, and what are the entitlement of the workers you are having.
Now, with the workers, like in the West, today I was talking about my particular employment. When we become hired by the company, we become part of the share. So, is that something already set up? Where say we hire someone and they already become a part of the share, so if they was to be terminated, a percentage of the shares can go with them upon termination, depending on what the termination is. Is that here, or is it something they have to actually sign up for? No.
You're being hired not as the owner of the company. No. If you want to buy shares, it must be at least a public company.
We have like what they call 401k.
Yes. So things are different here. If you say you want to hire people, you hire them as employees, nothing less, nothing more, and they are going to be entitled to employees' benefits. You understand? And if they get fired, what they deserve, they have to be given their terminal benefit,
like a servant's pack, like we call it servant's package or something like that.
Yes, there's what we call terminal benefits.
Yeah,
and there are a list of things which you must be aware of before hiring a person, especially concerning how you can live with them, how you must pay, you understand, and if they get into trouble, how you're going to handle them. You understand? You see, you cannot just do the way you do it probably somewhere else. Here there are laws and regulations which are different.
Okay. Did you have any questions going into that? Employment. Now, we did look up some information, and we weren't sure. I don't know. At least I wasn't. It was stuff about intellectual property. What does that mean when it says like intellectual property? So, from what I gathered, the question I came up with was, like, how do we protect our intellectual property rights in Tanzania? But still, what are intellectual properties? Like, what does that necessarily mean?
Yeah, there is an agency of the government, which involves with the registering your intellectual rights. You understand? Yeah, it means that you can go, you register it, and it's protected. You don't register it, you are not entitled to it. You understand? Whatever you claim that it is yours or it must be yours, you have to register it. And there are procedures, there are laws. Yeah. And you see, the problem is what is intellectual property in America is also the same here in Tanzania. You understand? So what you regard as intellectual property in America is the same here. So if you feel like there are some things which you're entitled to from the context of intellectual property, yes, we can advise each other on how we can register it, protect it, so that it may benefit you and your generation. Yeah.
Okay.
And then also, as far as a company that's possibly foreign,
You say?
a company that's possibly foreign with trademarks because of the logo. Remember, it's kind of going to the same thing you're talking about the name. If the name is registered and is given the okay that this name can be used in as a company in the states or in the country in itself, how does the trademark situation work as far as your logo and your name and your branding?
If you register through Brella, yes, that agents, the same agents that is used for registering company is the same organization, agency, which is used for registering trademarks, patents, and things of the same nature. So there is a possibility. You have your name, you want to protect it, you register a company. You have your colors or logo or whatever you want it to be protected, you register it. There's no problem. It's going to be safe and secure.
And I know this is kind of separate from that, but say something in the future. It's a future thought, but I want to kind of bring it up now just in case things may change as far as thinking about it. When it comes to let's say with the 5 acres that we are currently dealing with, and we begin to build like small Airbnb type things. I don't know if Airbnb is like the apartments and things like that. Start building those things and then leasing them out. Do you lease them under the business or as a separate entity because it's a different type of housing?
You see, the landed property you just bought isn't yet in the name of the business. You understand? The moment you put it in the name of the business, it's going to operate as a business.
Correct.
You understand?
Okay.
So whatever you do is going to be strictly business.
Strictly business.
I don't know the idea of community center. You see, maybe in America, community center can be used as a business. You understand? But in African context, in Tanzanian context, they have a look of a charity.
Okay.
They have an
So they're going
look
to
of
look at the community center as a
charity.
So with that, would you put it under as a business of like a non-for-profit or for-profit?
If you want to put it,
okay,
you can put it that way. Although I don't advise it that way, because if you make a decision to register foundation, it's different from registering company. You understand?
Yeah, because when it's non-profit, you can't make a profit off of whatever you're doing within it. So
you should be straight with what you want. You want to build a foundation to help people, or you want to build a company to do business. If you know what you want, your purpose will give you the program, will give you the way. You understand? If you say, I want to focus on building the community center, the perspective of most of the Tanzanians and the Africans, they view community center not as a business. They view it as a charity, something like that.
Now, say if we continue to call it a community center because it's within the community, but what within the community center is actually providing jobs. It's not like we're just there in the community playing sports and people come and just chill out. It's actually somewhere where people are going to be educated. It's going to have parts where maybe when it comes to like health things of that nature for screening, but for the most part, it is saying this is used for business in the community. Is it still good to be able to call it a community center within that aspect?
Because the name doesn't affect the operation. Calling it community center and they conduct business isn't a problem.
Okay.
Yes, it's a community center because we want it to be used for the community. Okay, but here we are providing services and people are paying for the service. The moment they start to pay for the service they see in the community center, it becomes business. And as long as you comply with the issues of tax, nobody is going to say that you're doing something wrong.
Okay.
There's no problem with that. Yeah.
Because I've seen, lot of nations come in and they do it and they use it under the guise of non-profit, but they're still trying to make a profit some kind of way. And of course, we're trying to build our country back up. So this is a way that by adding a service, not so much making it like, oh, this service costs too much, making it affordable, but at the same time, you have to give this quality service that can actually grow those with the community, like the children that come in the after school program, but it's still they're taking class here or there about technology, right? And they may pay for that service, but at the same time, it's allowing them to be able to expand their knowledge. So add that aspect to it. Not like you said, this is bullshit making it. How can I say this? I don't like handicapping people.
Huh?
I don't like handicapping people. So what I mean by that is that if I'm not coming here to make a solution or add to the value of increase as far as potential and things of that nature, but I'm just coming here and say, hey, here's some whole bunch of water, here's a whole bunch of food, and just doing that, you're only handicapping them, and they're not able to progress because they're always going to be dependent upon this. I want you to be able to come here, learn, expand, and say, okay, I can create the same thing, or I want to use the same model to start my own foundation or not foundation or business. You see what I'm saying? So that's kind of what the mindset that we want to bring when it comes to the community center is that it's not going to handicap, but it's going to empower and help those to increase in knowledge and wisdom, things of that nature. So, yeah.
So if it's that way, in your context, it's allowed, as long as you have necessary permits and the license, and you operate according to the laws and regulations of the country. Nobody's going to disturb you. Nobody's going to disturb the project. What is important, you see, in our context of Africa, especially Tanzania, our government are sensitive with the community center because of what they call, they don't want importation of culture which is irrelevant to our context from abroad. So most of the NGOs, community center are very much scrutinized. You understand? So it's better if we want to build something, we are very precise with it. Very precise. That's why I say it's very possible to call it community center and you still build probably a vocational center. You build a technological hub. You understand? You build Airbnb. Okay. So there are some certain business which will run some of the community charity works if you decide to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's good to know. Because like for us, our mindset obviously comes with a mindset from where we're from back home. And not all community centers are considered like a charity. Like you have some community centers where you pay a membership. And with that membership, you have access to the different things, be it a gym, be it free workshop, or not free, but workshops that they have for teachers come in, but you pay for that monthly. And your membership, depending on the tier that you're at, only takes you so far within that membership. You can have the highest tier, minimum, or lower tier. I think that's kind of like the direction we were trying to go off of, with still having some things there where a person that may not be able to afford a membership or afford that can still come and get certain benefits that we offer, like the healthcare clinic, but they may not be able to go past a certain, point of the community center to that degree. So it's good that you share that.
Now, with that, because I know back in the States, with businesses or corporations, they still have things where they may donate or offer services maybe free of charge, and it gets like a tax write-off. So is it okay to do that? Like, I know you can't do it all every time, but it's like certain times where it say, okay, maybe the health clinic, we have it once a month where different people within the community or maybe a little bit outside of the community come in and get a free health check.
Are there any tax incentives?
We'll still pay the doctors to do the service, but the people won't have to pay to, receive the different screenings or whatever.
You see the issues of tax incentives in our context in Tanzania. It depends with the structure of the organization. Okay. You understand? If you set it to look like more like business than charity, you will pay tax. You understand? If you want to set it to look like charity, you won't pay tax. What is important is you can have a company that is having a foundation, and you can have a foundation that is having a company. Means your community center might be a community center, a registered community center, or a foundation that is running business in the name of the company. So the foundation might not pay tax because of what it's doing, but the company which belongs to the foundation will pay the tax because of what it is doing. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah, it's that way.
Okay. Okay. Well, we'll just wrap it up because it's getting loud, and it's been a long day. But the last part I think we wanted to talk about was the anti-corruption and compliancy. Like if there's any laws that we need to be in compliance with, so that we don't fall into like I think it's something about anti-corruption. So
Money
pretty much,
laundering.
yes, like
Money
those
laundering
things.
and
So
corruption,
like
yes.
what are the anti-corruption laws in Tanzania, and how can we ensure our business complies? And then what are the penalties for non-compliance with you all's anti-corruption laws?
If we just leave the issue of anti-corruption,
Okay.
we have other legal and regulatory compliance we have to comply. If you have workers, you must comply with the NSSF, yes, National Social Security Fund, WCF, Workers Compensation Fund, OSHA. OSHA is
OSHA is everywhere.
yes, OSHA. So we get a lot of things, a lot of compliance you have to comply to. With the issue of anti-corruption, as long as you don't do anything concerning corruption, nobody's concerned with you.
Correct.
Yeah, because there are no specific documents which you have to fill so that you say that I'm not receiving the bribe or no.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't do that.
And that's a big thing. I know when we went to visit the site, we want to make sure the PPE, which is like, the things that the workers are wearing, making sure, because, I mean, you probably seen it with some fundis or whatever, maybe working without hard hats or hard shell toes, shoes or boots on a work site that is required of that by OSHA. Now, with the business being in operation, they come by and see this. That can lead to corruption if you're trying to hide it. And so I think that's the main thing as far as when I mentioned about OSHA is that we want to make sure that they're safe, because to get hurt on the job, how do you, benefit them in regards to not being to work for those days or weeks or months, however long it may be. So I think that.
So for instance, with the OSHA, they always come to inspect or the workplace, the premises.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes.
They have to make sure that people are wearing protective gears. Okay.
Yeah.
But also, I mentioned something concerning WCF, Workers' Compensation Fund.
Yeah.
Yes. Means that there's a certain amount of money which you have to pay for your workers.
Yeah.
In WCF, in NSSF. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's very important.
All right.
We thank Yah
Thank
for
you so much.
giving us the people with the golden heart. Like that. I like that.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
This is the turn.
Brother.
If you would like to donate toward the development of the Body Balance UCCG Community Center, please do so by Cash App $TheBodyBalanceUCCG.
Louisa.